I am not sure where Pulse has gone. He said he felt a bit sick before, he felt a bit under the weather, so hopefully he will be rejoining me very shortly and he will be all good. But until then, I'll be just taking this one solo, answer any questions that you have in the chat, as well as trying to get through the picks and bans myself. Quick disclaimer, quick warning to you guys that I may be a few seconds behind what you see because I'm casting at the same time as you and there is a delay on the stream, thus I may be 3 or 4 seconds behind what you actually see coming up. If so, I apologise, but I've not been able to get into the spectator slot because it's on the main stage and the production crew there in Bucharest need to obviously be spectating so that they can give it to the audience. So hopefully that clears up a few things. Regardless, the bans are Oriana, Zed, Lee Sin and Shen that I can see thus far, and I'll give Pulse a quick poke and see if he's back. Just one sec. So, as I said before, he has a bit of a stomach upset, so hopefully he will be okay. But somebody asking in chat, is this a best of 3? Yes, it is, and it is currently a 1-0 to Copenhagen Wolves. Won a fairly one-sided game before. It was close up until the 10-minute mark or so before really anyone started to make plays. So that's one of the reasons why it lasted, I believe, about 28-29 minutes at the end. Ari and also Javan the fourth have been banned out as well. Understandable when Lanish does main Ari, so taking Ari out the question is kind of just a no-brainer. No reason not to. Elise has been picked up from Young Buck. Interesting champion for him because the reason why Elise is so good, on top of the fact that she's very strong in jungle and top lane, is that she's versatile. It's difficult to lock down exactly where she's going to be played. Now Shook plays a really strong Elise jungle, and Young Buck plays a really strong Elise top. So it's difficult right now for the Time Police to know exactly where that Elise is going to be played and therefore how to counter it best. Regardless, they've gone for the Zac and Thresh. This is a really strong combination, all about the AoE, all about the CC in team fights. If you can put them on top of one another, the box and the let's bounce, so much disruption, and at the same time you're being slowed down by 99%. So it's really, really powerful. The reason I'm not really able to answer that many questions in chat is because I'm trying to talk about the picks and bans at the same time, guys. So I apologise if you've asked some questions and I've not been able to look at them. But I'm trying to keep this kind of busy while Pulse is AFK. So Caitlyn and Zyra have also been picked up for Copenhagen Wolves. Assuming that is going to be their bot lane, Unlimited plays a very, very strong Zyra, and we've seen Reckless on Caitlyn time and time again in the EU West Challenger Series. That of course is the tournament that Chaos TV runs throughout the weeks, currently on number 13, actually number 14 now as 13 just finished. But regardless, Reckless on Caitlyn often will be hitting like CS on the dot. He's going to be at around 140 CS at 14 minutes. He's going to be starting to go past that once we get after 20 minutes, once he starts to get some items, because Caitlyn is such a good farmer. The range that she possesses, the headshot procs as well, and the fact that Reckless positions himself so phenomenally well in team fights and also just generally means he is a farming machine. Pulse has just messaged me, so let me just check this out. He is back. Welcome back, Mr. Asianson. How's your stomach doing?
Oh, pretty well, thank you, and honestly, that double shot espresso was the best and worst decision I've made. Great for the upstairs regions, bad for the downstairs. But anyway, so now into the Champion Select Picks and Bans. I see you've already made huge headway, so I would, carry on your points and then I will pick up from there.
Yeah, report caster for AFK, what a noob. I agree,
Sorry.
chat. I agree.
Yeah, please don't ban me out.
Or times 10,000 as the case may be, because there's plenty of you watching right now. I can't personally remember saying that we were Bulgarian, but sure, why not? I mean, we clearly got a thick Bulgarian accent right now.
We do.
So we'll go with that one.
It's quite noticeable, I've got to be honest.
It is. It definitely is. It's jarring, if nothing else. You hear, oh, Bulgarians.
Yeah, I've just come back and we've already gone off topic. So, the last couple of pickups were Renekton and also the Pantheon. So, well, actually I'm waiting for the Pantheon to be locked in, we'll see what else comes out. But, yes, Renekton for certain has been brought out, which is a staple champion of Young Buck, and honestly, no real surprise.
It is. His Renekton is just synonymous with very, very good play. Mechanically, positionally, engage-wise as well. Young Buck knows Renekton down to a T, so that is going to be Shook in jungle with Elise, as I was expecting previously. But as I said before, Young Buck has played Elise as well, so going to be quite an interesting game, I have to feel right now. Both teams have strong compositions, but there's a lot of staple picks right now on the side of Copenhagen Wolves Pulse. We know these guys really well. We've watched them and we've casted them time and time again. As we said, they've won the last 6 EUS Challenger Series on the bounce. So when we look at this composition, I'm seeing a lot of champions they're very comfortable on.
Yeah, indeed. So they look very, very strong indeed. And just before, when we went off before metas, we were saying that they really need to change up how they play this game, the pace that they take this game, and how they're really going to play this out. And that's coming from the Time Police. They've gone for the Nasus. He's going to be in the jungle. They've also gone for, again, the Zac in the top lane for the engage, and then a more aggressive bot lane, and then a roaming mid laner in the form of Twisted Fate. We'll see how this works out. I can definitely see it working.
Thing is, though, they've got a hard counter to TF in the form of Fizz. Fizz is considered one of the hardest counters against Twisted Fate. And we've seen Copenhagen Wolves, the way they deal with Twisted Fate is very simple. They just batter him out of lane. The one way that Twisted Fate manages to excel in game is to roam around the map and pick up kills. If you push his tower down and you kill him, then basically you're negating that problem to start with. Regardless though, we're going to find out how this game number 2 goes. We have 2 minutes 20 or probably 2 minutes 10 as the case may be as you're watching on the delay remaining. So until then, we'll see you very shortly.
When I think of the future, I think of the men ideas, and philosophy and spirit.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, or good afternoon as the case may be here in the UK. Welcome back to Chaos TV's live coverage of DreamHack Bucharest. This is semi-finals territory, Copenhagen Wolves going one-on-one with the Time Police. I'm Metis, joined by Pulse, and we're already onto the rift for some potential action here, Pulse. Very aggressive start actually. Here comes a death sentence, they've landed it on Young, but this could be the first blood coming very quickly. Slice and dice instantly picked up from Young Buck. Such smart play from him, and he has the flash as well if needed, and indeed it will be. So he's going to get away from this one. Very quick reactions to pick up the slice and dice.
Yeah, one of the biggest mistakes from people who are new to the game is they skill first, because it's like, okay, this skill is best at level 1, therefore I'll take it. But what you'll see with most people who are like, you know, in Challenger, in the top ends of players, is they'll hold on to their point until they know exactly what they need to commit with. Even they'll wait until like the creeps come into mid lane, or like whatever their respective lane is, and then go for it. Because they realise that at any point in time, they could be potentially caught. So by having like Playful Trickster, or by having Slice and Dice, that could get you out of very sticky situations. Excuse me, especially when you have someone like Elise on the enemy team. But we do see the invade coming in from Copenhagen Wolves. Mofire along with Bogdan are sitting in the wings. Reckless is right next to them. The grasping which come across. The ignite comes out. First blood picked up, and the smite comes down. Bogdan flashes out. Another follow with the cocoon. Perfect angle, and straight into his passive. They should be able to clean this up with no issues, and most likely going to give this over to Reckless.
Oh man, oh man, oh man. That is pretty much the definition of being bushwhacked by 3 players. Really nice stuff coming about there from Copenhagen Wolves, and very, very smart. Once they realised that the gank or the invade did not pay off there for the Time Police at top, they knew they'd go back and start on their blue buff. It was fairly obvious. So just being in the right position. Now Fizz is going hyper-aggressive on Lenish's TF, doing quite a bit of damage. But just very smart play from Copenhagen Wolves. That's where the experience comes in.
Yeah, Fizz will really look to fish for a kill onto the TF in the mid lane, because he really is kind of what's considered to be a counter pick, so he'll definitely look to try and pick him up. In the top lane, Youngblood gets caught by the death sentence. Flay doesn't quite land for skilling in that slice and dice, but definitely we do see, expect to see some action in the mid lane as Fizz gets aggressive.
Yeah, I mean, Time Police, they didn't have a particularly strong first get matchup, and this is one of the worst possible ways to start number 2. Have a look at Caitlyn, 2 kills already, plus a first blood, plus getting by and large free farm because they're in a 1 versus 2 lane. It's just not paying out well for them. And as I said previously, Reckless on Caitlyn will farm exceptionally well. He is going to be getting like 150 CS at 15-minute mark, if not sooner. So he's going to be finishing off the likes of your Infinity Edges and your Phantom Dancers very, very quickly, and getting to that scary mid to late Caitlyn even earlier than you'd expect.
Yeah, we're actually going to see both the junglers kind of meet each other just for a second. Shook stealing that away with Venomous Bite, and you can see how Bogdanovic is he just doesn't want to go into his own jungle. Nasus is in the top jungle. In the mid lane, damage comes out in the top lane. Youngblood drops low. We have the Arcane Shift coming in from Neko as well. Can they finish this one off? The answer is yes. Flash comes in from both of these players, dropping up very low and both flashing up red, but there is no follow-up and very clean kill.
It is, but they both burnt their flashes there to secure the kill, so that's probably going to give Shook kind of whet his appetite to go up to top lane, because even though Arcane Shift will come good, in fact hold that thought, because Reckless has just been caught from Bogdanovic. However, Mofire was not in position to follow up on that elastic slingshot or any of the follow-up damage there, so this Biolage is going to pass them by. That moment is gone now. But as I said at top lane, although the Arcane Shift is available for Nico on Ezreal, it's not going to be the same story for Bogdan's Thresh. If he gets caught out from Elise, he's probably going to go down and die. That being said, if they keep the wards up as they are right now, it's going to be very difficult for Elise to move into position. They've got one in this river bush and also one in the tri-bush, so they've got by and large everything covered.
Worth mentioning that Mofire has only just cleared the lizards away from that camp, so Blue Buff won't be spawning until around maybe 13 minutes right now, I think was when around the respawn was. So that's kind of going to throw off Shook's, well, at least what he's expecting when it's going to spawn. Sorry, it's not 13 minutes. Where has my maths gone? About 10 minutes, or maybe like 9, or halfway through 9 minutes. I was like, yes, 5 add 5 equals 13. And the bot lane, we have Reckless going huge onto Bogdanovic. As the Piltover comes across, he needs one more auto attack to come out. Tries to reveal him, get that extra vision with the trap. Alas, no kill.
And also importantly there, his cooldown for Cell Division is just about to come off. So had they have actually aggressed and finalized that kill, he would have died. He wouldn't have been popped into his passive. Very, very close. So close yet so far, as the case may be. Regardless, though, they have forced him back, so he's going to fall further behind in terms of experience, whereas Youngbuck is actually doing pretty nicely for himself. 15 CS to 4. I mean, it doesn't sound like a huge difference, but when you consider the way the lanes have been going, it's pretty significant still.
Yeah, for sure, and again, Shook being so aggressive with Elise, and one of his champions that he's really comfortable with because he can be aggressive in the jungle. He knows he can out-trade Nasus in the early game, especially in those jungle brawls, as we have Shook coming in from the side. Flash comes in from Lenish, very smart move indeed. I mean, that would have secured his doom with Cal Marine or Cal Todd in the mid lane, and especially that kill would have brought him to chum the waters of his level 6 again. Lenish so close to that cocoon. But again, Elise just warding them out, and it's just that constant knowledge that you're probably going to meet Shook in your own jungle.
Yeah, as I was talking about before with the two solo laners comparing their CS, that's not really the important part. The important part is experience. Youngbuck is halfway through level 5, whereas Bogdanovic is literally just dinged up to level 4. There's a big disparity there. And if they go for the new lane switch up and kind of re-rotate, that's going to put Renekton in a very advantageous position, Paul. So, again, it's not just the CS that's important, it's the experience. And so far, Bogdanovic has been so harassed from Reckless and also Unlimited that he just can't do anything. Twisted Fate's flashing up in mid, that's going to be a free kill, a one-on-one from Fizz. And as I said previously, Fizz does hard counter that Twisted Fate, can just dodge out of everything with a playful Trickster.
Yeah, and if Chum the Waters comes out, there's almost no way Twisted Fate is going to get away from it. Bogdanovic again flashes up red in the bot lane. He's just not having a fun time. The sheer poke harassment from Caitlyn and Zyra is absolutely unbelievable, specifically for a 1 versus 2 lane. You would expect a Zac to be fairly decent in that, but he just can't do anything. The fact that it's interesting that Time Police instigated the swap up, because then they'd be putting themselves against Renekton. I guess it's because they didn't want to put Zac into that lane, and Mofar takes some hits in the mid lane. Cal Todd doesn't go all in on that. But the fact that he's so good with that single champion is he has a lot of room to outplay that 1 versus 2 lane, so he can keep his tower up longer. Case in point, bottom tower has already fallen to that Reckless and Unlimited lane, and that's so scary for Time Police.
I think there's another couple of things that could have been going on in the head, like mind games here. One is that last game, if you remember, Pulse, actually it was the side of Copenhagen Wolves who elected for the lane switch up. So they took 2 to top lane because they were playing against the Draven. So maybe it was mind games coming about here from the Time Police that were like, okay, they're probably going to switch, so we'll switch as well and take it into a 2 versus 2 lane. It just kind of backfired. Another thing as well is that Bogdanovic has just been kind of crushed so many times from this harassment damage that the jungler, Mofire, has been forced to just stay at the bot lane. Now, Nasus wants to get a bit of farm. He wants to prime off those Qs so we can get the stacks up. Thus far, this is what I'm talking about. Thus far in the game, 48 stacks on his Q. Normally, at this level of play, you're looking at least 75 plus.
Yeah, we actually saw, who was it? I want to say Jankees, because it's Jankost and Jankees, and I get always confused between them. Yeah, who had like 200 stacks at like 20 minutes. I think it was more than that, because we were kind of amazed. I think it was more than 200, and we just like, how did he do that? But in the top lane, Yoko goes huge, with the dominance being popped. Shook now comes in with the Rebel coming out, locks up Bogdan, and now Neko just doesn't know what to do. He just doesn't have the damage to trunk through Renekton, and especially when Elise is there as well. 1 for 0 trade. And again, he's just in an even better position.
And this is exactly what Shook brings to the table. Hyper-aggression, being at those judgment call positions. Bogdanovic again has been caught out of position. He's running away from Unlimited. Back to their tower. He's been caught now with the grasping roots. That's going to be Cell Division popping. And they are going to clean that kill up completely comfortably. Meanwhile, in mid, Kautard and Shook are going to be taking down this mid tower, at least putting down a lot of punishment. Cocoon lands, they're going to be jumping on top of Vanish. Look at the burst damage, it's absolutely off the charts right now. Moonfire comes in with the Wither, but it's going to do absolutely nothing. So they pick up yet another kill. And the difference between these two teams in terms of synergy is just a couple leagues apart so far.
Yeah, they wanted Nasus, they knew he'd have Fury of the Sands, and that's always going to make him relevant, even though he's like significantly behind, because Fury of the Sands just makes you so strong in 1 versus 2s. Now, onto the blue buff, they're taking away this other objective, and that's going to hurt Twisted Fate. Not massively, but again, it's another dent in the armor, which is really just going to put them slightly further behind. Now transitioning onto the Drake, going to be taking almost no damage from that, with the combination of both the plants and the spiderlings. And again, nothing that Time Police can do about it.
Yeah, as you say, it's not like a game-crushing thing to lose a blue buff, but as you mentioned, it's a dent in the armor. However, when you start to take too many dents, that's when the armor starts to fall to pieces and you're very vulnerable, and that's where the TF is right now. Bogdan has been caught, Bogdanovic and Bogdan are both the bot lane, and seeing his namesake drop right in front of his very eyes. And I don't know, it seems like maybe the Time Police are starting to give up. They're just getting caught out of positions they really shouldn't be.
Oh man, you just went a bit Skynet there, but in the bot lane,
Did I? Oh,
yeah,
lovely.
we do have a push coming out. And Jungle Waters comes across, doesn't quite land onto Lenish. And Youngbook as well, just kind of moving around the area. Again, nothing really to write home about, but it's just the constant harassment in the bot lane though. Unlimited drops up into the red zone, and Reckless jumps over the wall with a 90 caliber net, being pushed back, and in fact the Destiny into the gate has been popped. Can he get to the bot lane though? Because Calvary will do some damage before he leaves. Now he's into the bot lane, he picks up the kill onto Unlimited, the passive comes out, tries to disrupt the recall, not going to come down. Reckless still looking to get out of here, he has very little mana to spare, 65 to about 70, now has the 90 caliber net. Fizz is looping all the way around the side, this could be massive for the team of Copenhagen Wolves. Can they disrupt them in time? Reckless doesn't want to face check the brush. Slingshot is being charged. Doesn't quite go for it. The recall has come down from Twisted Fate, but they're still going to look if they can pick up this kill. They're gonna see him. He's juked past the minion line, gone into the Yordle snap trap, moving towards this tower, but they will be catching up. Playful Trickster into the Urchin Strike. Reckless still following up. Is he gonna be off? The answer is no, with a Piltover coming across to finish the kill.
Oh man, I don't like to use words like stomp very often, and I like to hype games up because I genuinely believe League of Legends can turn in a heartbeat, but this is looking very one-sided. Both junglers, bash heads I should say, as Chum the Waters comes out from Coutard, is going to go slightly awry, but I'm trying my best to see the optimism in this game, Pulse. I feel like it could already be over though.
Very possible. We saw this in the first game, and it's always nice to hype up a match, but again, Youngbook actually clearing away that ward. Nice play by Bogdan. It's like, okay, well now you have no cooldown, so have another one. So now pushing them into the top turret, we see Elise coming around from the side. That will be warded to all hell and back, so they will be backing on off, but unable to quite go for that gank. They'll know Elise in the jungle, so we'll see if Nasus sees to head him off. And maybe Twisted Fate coming up for the reaction, exactly what we're going to see, but no one really wants to deal with Shook right now. In the top lane, we actually see Youngbook going 1 versus 2, and the huge damage goes on to Bogdan. He's now turning attention to Neku. In fact, he's just going to back off and farm the creeps, does not even care about his auto attacks.
He doesn't need to, he's got the early phage, and now in mid, that's going to be another kill. This time Unlimited chimes in to get his first of the game, and Ezreal is kind of quite vulnerable here, does have the advantage of having ranged attacks, but Pulse, I don't really know what to say about this game. It's like two separate teams of completely different levels matching up against each other. I know that sounds really harsh, but I can only say what my opinion is as a caster, and Copenhagen Wolves are just so far ahead of the Time Police.
Yeah, I've got to agree, Matters, and we know that Copenhagen Wolves are an incredibly polished team as they aggress once again onto Opie and Bogdan 961. From the Waters comes across, will it be enough to secure the kill? The knock-up into the CC. Death Sentence lands though, does he have the ability to get out? Faithful Trickster comes into play. Pull up from Bogdan, shutdown comes out by Threat. Huge damage onto Unlimited as well, but another kill coming out. 1-for-1 trade overall, but taking huge hits to their base.
When a team is diving past your inhibitor at 14 minutes in the game, that's pretty much when you say, okay, this game is probably over. Lenish is getting absolutely destroyed from Shook, chasing after him. Here comes the Dark Passage, will be flying through. Good guy Thresh comes to the rescue again, but actually Lenish goes through with the Destiny. I thought for a second he was going to die off that damage, but wasn't the case. and does manage to survive.
Yeah, looks like the Time Police running out of time. And now with Caitlyn's ultimate coming across, hits the Bogdan. And now Shook finishes off the kill of the auto attack. Thank you for chat for that one. Credit where it's deserved. But 1-for-0 trade, 12-3, and just a huge, massive differential in terms of gold. They're just not looking good in the top lane. Youngwood finds himself caught. I say caught, but the dominance as well. He turns it around 1 versus 2. The brothers into action. Fear of the Sands has not been popped in practice on cooldown, and he faces them off, even with Zac there as well.
Yeah, the brothers are batting heads, but Renekton definitely the older and bigger and superior brother in this case, as Nasus is forced to recall level 8 versus level 11. And actually Renekton has a 2-level advantage over Bogdanovic, who was the solo laner for the Time Police. So Pulse, I think I know the answer to this question, but in your opinion, what can the Time Police do to somehow come back from this game?
There's very little they can do at this stage, Metas, because I would say, you know what, they could go for a Baron contest. It's 16 minutes in, it spawned a minute ago. The chances of them going for that are very, very slim, unless Copenhagen Wolves decide, you know what, it's time to go for Baron at 15 minutes. There's no way they're going to come back into the game if Copenhagen Wolves play it smart. Again, we could see some outplays, but Neko looks like he's going to get caught though in the jungle, but the land's coming across, but he actually moves away from it. Not the right move. Bogdan pushes back Unlimited, and Jungle is still on the hunt. Can Neko get out of here? He actually flashes over the wall, and the answer is yes, but in the mid lane, Kaltard picks up another kill onto Bogdan 961, and again they've just put themselves into another dominating position.
So Pulse, Elise's build, that just kind of happened. BF Sword Stinger.
It did. Intrudasting, and that's all I'm going to say about it, Metas. I don't think it really needs any more elaboration, as we see the initiate from Kaltard doesn't go all in, just kind of prodding him in the face and backing him off, as living up to the name of the playful trickster. But right now they're sieging away, and they're auto attacks from Elise, man.
Yeah, I mean she's going to be doing lots of auto attack damage, but this isn't a build that you'd often see from Elise. They're so far ahead, however, that I don't think any cares were given that day. 30,000 to 19,000 is 17 minutes. That's pretty much going to be a GG right there. Playful trickstering away, Kaltard. They are looking to pick up this tower. There's an F-sentence landing on Shook and instantly goes down. Could this be the beginning of the most ridiculous comeback in League of Legends history? No, doesn't look like it. Renekton gets the double kill, looking for his triple on Bogdanovic, who is running away. Popped into Cell Division. Will they scumbag the triple away from him is the question. Fizz goes down in the meantime. Grasping roots come out from Zyra. Will be getting the triple kill onto Renekton, going for the double kill actually, and also picks up Twisted Fate. Here comes the ace in the hole. Barrier will save an Echo only just.
Yeah, and that's a 3-2 trade. It could have been worse, but the fact that now they're able to take an inhibitor is kind of one of the last nails in the coffin, especially when you're in a game like this, 12k behind, with Fire and Bogdan coming to pick up the pieces, but that's all they really can do at this stage. Copenhagen Wolves, all they need to do is back off, get some items, clear the buffs, clear the jungle, and they go in for the finishing blow.
Were the respawn times that quick there that Renekton actually got 5 kills, but because they respawned it wasn't classed as an ace or a penta? Because I swear he got a triple kill and then a double kill.
I'm not sure. I would like if someone in the chat could confirm that, because I'm not entirely sure, but in the bot lane we have Destiny into the gate, but Shook now coming in. They see this with the ultimate, of course, revealing everyone on the map of the opposing team, but Fact just going to go ahead and back on off. The mobility right now in team play from Wolves is just too on point.
Oh, he got 4 kills. Okay, thanks chat for chiming in there. I thought he did get over 3. I was like, wait a second, he just killed 4 or 5 players. Surely, you know, that's something significant. But they respawned so fast because of how early in the game it was, that it kind of reset. Plus, he spent a lot of time taking down the Cell Division up Bogdanovic, just outside of their base. So, regardless, you know, unofficial quadra kill for Renekton with a Triforce. Why not? Strong item. We got a BF sorted at least. Anything's possible at this point in the game.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I can kind of remember when Elise was first released metas and everyone was trying like completely wacky builds on her until everyone realised magic penetration is amazing. I'm gonna hold that thought for a second as Youngbook gets knocked up and, well, not really much else, honestly, from Zac. But we do have the rest of the team looking to collapse upon them in the top lane. The tower is very low. We'll see if they choose to just kill the players or go for the tower. Counterplay coming in from the Time Police, but they don't choose to follow up. Caitlyn now pushing in the bot lane, knowing she can duel anyone. And Bogdanovic, he is charging up. The elastic slingshot doesn't quite connect. The death sentence, but Calmarine comes in from the side. Huge damage goes on to Bogdan. Let's Bounce comes in, and now Neku just from the back line. He's barely scratching Renekton as Zach Duke's underneath the turret. Fresh will drop. True Shot Barrage comes down. But again, it's just not enough. Elise comes in to help Reckless with the bot lane.
Bogdanovic going back in again. Counter on is very low. Can he survive though? Playful Trickster is on availability actually. I thought it was on cooldown. Grasping Roots comes out just to right though. Nico gonna need to be careful. If he goes in too deep here, he could be falling. And here comes the Playful Trickster and the Urgent Strike as well. Will be able to survive. Surrender Vote comes in while Caitlyn is bashing down the Nexus towers. And this game will be done and dusted and a 2-0 victory for Copenhagen Wolves.
Yeah, indeed. This is the semi-finals and the last game today, in fact. And tomorrow we will just have the finals. It will be a best of 3, waiting for the other bracket to complete. But this bracket, this side of the bracket rather, will be Copenhagen Wolves taking it very convincingly, in fact, in all the games they played today. So thank you for tuning in.